Hey, what's up guys? This is Marco from Alfista. In today's video, we're going to be putting in new rotors. These rotors are from R1 Concepts, and I'm going to show you everything you need to know to properly install this in the car, including the specs and the tools that you're going to need.
Love the channel? Join as a member for bonus videos, early access, shoutouts, and more. Just click the join button. It helps me keep creating and you get cool perks. Thanks.
So these particular rotors here are the Geo Carbon type. They have been coated to protect against rusting. As you can see, they are also drilled and slotted. These slots here are meant to allow the heat to escape from the rotor, reducing its temperature. They also double as a wear indicator. Let me pick one up here so you guys can see what it looks like from the side, from the back. This is going to be my rear rotor and this is going to be the front one. All right, let's have a look at what tools you're going to need. So let's start here from the left. These are going to be optional, but I highly recommend that you guys use this. You're going to need a pick tool or a screwdriver. This is used to remove the retaining clip in the rear caliper. We also have here some anti-seize lubricant. And by the way, I will have all the links in the video descriptions in case you guys need any of these. You're also going to need a Sharpie or some marking tool, a wire brush. We're going to be using this to clean the wheel hub. You can also use a tool like this, which comes in a kit. This is very useful because you can attach it on a drill and it makes the process a lot quicker. You're also going to need a thread locker. I'm using this blue thread locker here, a can of brake clean, a can of WD-40, a T55 Torx bit, number 7 Allen bit, number 5 Allen bit, 9/16 socket, a punch tool, a piston spreader, a ratchet, caliper hangers, a mallet, a torque wrench, a power drill, and a face mask. Before you get started, you need to come here in the infotainment system and go to settings, then go to passive safety, and then go to brake service. This here is done so that we can retract the parking brake in order to perform the brake service. So let's go ahead and hit yes here. All right, we're ready to get started. It's also a good idea to disconnect the battery's negative terminal. All right, we're gonna start here at the rear. This is pretty simple. We're gonna have to take off this caliper. We have 2 bolts here that are holding this thing in place. There is a plastic cap that looks like this, and that's gonna be found right back here. You're gonna need to remove that so you can get access to the bolt. Then you're gonna use your number 7 Allen bit. There's not a whole lot of torque on these, so it's pretty easy to remove them. There's my bolt right there, and this is the bottom one. Next, we're going to disconnect this wear sensor back here. So this one just slides out like so, and then you can disconnect this from here. Just lift on the tab and pull it out. Let me set this to the side over here. Now I'm gonna disconnect the parking brake. So I'm gonna use this flathead screwdriver, stick it in here and kind of twist it so that this pops out. Then I can push down on it and then pull this thing out. Now we're gonna remove this retaining clip. Just gonna pull on it like so. And now this guy can come off. Just be mindful that your brake pads are gonna be right there. So make sure you don't drop them. And this is where the caliper hangers come in handy. You can hang the caliper from maybe from here, or in my case, I have this stand right here that I can just put that on there. The main thing that you don't want to do is to put any stress on this rubber hose back here. This is your brake fluid. You don't want to stress that. All right, and here are my brake pads. I'm gonna remove them. Right, if you haven't watched the video that I made on these, make sure that you check that out. You're gonna notice here that in order to remove this brake rotor, we also need to remove this bracket here. This bracket here is being held in place by these 2 bolts that you see back here. And I'm gonna be using this 9/16 socket to remove them. And these are on there pretty tight, so you're gonna need to use quite a bit of force. All right, so here's the bracket, and here we got the bolts. Now would be a good time to use a wire brush to clean all this out. Okay, next we're gonna remove this bolt right here. This is what prevents the rotor from falling off. And this is barely on there, so you're not gonna need a whole lot of force to remove that. You're gonna be using this number 5 Allen to get it out. And that's what that guy looks like. We're finally ready to get the rotor off. So you're gonna notice that this is gonna be probably pretty stuck on there. You can try to use a rubber mallet to get this off. What I like to do is to use some penetrating oil. You can put it right in this groove here, and that's gonna help you get it off much quicker. We're gonna let that sit for a few minutes. I'm also gonna tap it from the back. Just make sure that you don't hit on this side where we have the dust shield. It's still pretty stuck on there. So I'm going to switch from this rubber mallet and I'm going to use this steel one. At this point, it doesn't really matter if we damage this since this is going into the trash. Make sure that you're holding onto this when you're tapping it with the mallet so that it doesn't fall on you. Look how rusty that is. Next, you could use a wire brush to get all this rust off of there. All you want to do is to try to get a smooth surface as possible. I'm going to bypass the wire brush. Instead, I'm going to be using this kit right here. This is specifically made. This wheel hub cleaning kit has this adapter here for a power drill so that you can do this job in no time. I would highly recommend that you use a face mask when you're doing this job. All right, that feels pretty smooth now. No bumps. I'm also going to hit it with brake clean so we can get some of that dirt and grime off of it. Before doing that, make sure that you protect any rubber parts. I'm also going to be using brake clean to clean this new rotor. We want to remove any oils that may be on it. Before I install the new rotors, I'm going to be using some anti-seize lubricant. I'm going to put it right here on the wheel hub. That's going to make it easier for us to remove the brake rotor in the future. Make sure that you don't put it in the threads, just the face of the wheel hub. There is a correct and incorrect way of doing this. You want these grooves right here to be biting into the brake pads as the car slows down. So just to illustrate, we have the brake pad right here, and notice that the screws right here are moving into the brake pad. So when this is getting squeezed in, these are going to be biting into the brake pad. Let me go ahead and add my retaining bolt in there. We're going to torque this guy to 7 Newton meters. Next up, we're going to be putting back the support bracket. We're going to be using some thread locker. You may be able to see that right there. That's some thread locker that was added at the factory. I could not find the torque specs for these bolts back here in the service manual. So what I did on the other side of the car is that I took this Sharpie right here. So I made a mark back here so that I can line that up when I put this bolt back in there. So basically you're taking the Sharpie and you're marking the bolt, the washer, and you're marking the part that it sits on. My best estimate is that you need between 60 and 65 foot-pounds for this bolt here. And here I'm using the swiveling part here so that I can get the right angle because this is a bit awkward to tighten. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put my brake pad back in there. This one has this wire here for the wear sensor, so this one is gonna go in the inside. And here we have the outside one. And here I have my 1-piston caliper. I already opened up the master cylinder reservoir cap because I'm going to be retracting this piston over here. So I'm using my piston spreader right here. You can use whatever tool you want. If you watched my video where I did the brake pad change, I told you guys that it's a good idea to catch the brake fluid as you are retracting the piston. And I use a bottle like this to catch that fluid. You can get all the details in that video. This time I'm not going to be doing that because this video is being recorded right after that other video. All right, now that we have enough space, we can go ahead and bring this in here and it's gonna fit on there nicely. Now I'm gonna bring my mounting bolt and I'm gonna line it up and put it in there. Then we're gonna use our number 7 Allen again to tighten those up. This is gonna need 20 foot-pounds or 27 Newton meters. Don't forget to put these dust caps on there. Now we're going to add the retaining clip. We also need to reconnect our parking brake and the wear sensor. Then we slide it back in place. All right guys, we're done with the rear rotors. Now we're gonna go ahead and move to the front. All right, so we're gonna start by removing these pins right here. So we're just gonna punch those out. There's one, two. Now we're gonna remove these two bolts right here, and we're gonna use this T55 Torx bit for that. Keep in mind that the one with the counterweight is the bottom one. Now we're gonna go ahead and remove this 4-piston caliper. These are Brembo calipers, by the way. Let's go ahead and wiggle them out. The brake pads may come loose, so just keep that in mind as well. Oh, and I forgot that we need to remove this wear sensor here, so let me go ahead and take care of that. We're just gonna go ahead and slide it out of place. You should have done this first before you start disassembling this, but no problem. We're gonna go ahead and do it now. There we go. Then we're gonna remove this from the caliper. Now I'm gonna go ahead and hang this caliper from the suspension here. There is a metal brake line back here, and if you let this hang, you can damage that. So that's why we hang it from here. I'm gonna go ahead and add some WD-40 once again here. Remove this retaining bolt. As you guys can see, it's pretty hard to get those off sometimes. That's why I recommend that we use anti-seize back here to make our job easier in the future. Now I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up. And this is the part where you're going to want to be wearing your face mask. Let's go ahead and add our anti-seize lubricant here. Shout out to Chris Fixit. That's who I learned this from. Keep in mind that you need to line up the hole so that we can put the retaining bolt in there. All right, I think I got it. Let's go ahead and get this guy in there. Once again, we're gonna give it 7 Newton meters. Now we're gonna go ahead and retract the brake calipers. I'm gonna go ahead and get my brake pad in there. Make sure you don't get any grease on here. I'm gonna go ahead and bring one of the pins in here so that I can lock the brake pads in place. That way they're not moving around too much. There is a groove in here for this wire. I like to put a little bit of lubricant on this so that I can easily slide it in place. Sometimes it doesn't want to go in. These bolts right here are going to require 77 foot-pounds or 105 Newton meters. The last thing we got to do is to connect our wear sensor. And this one just slides in place. And there we have it. We're done with the front as well. And I forgot to mention, guys, once again, when you are putting these in there, there's a correct and incorrect way of doing it. Make sure that the slots are biting into the brake pads as the car is slowing down. And the torque for the wheel lug nuts are going to be 89 foot-pounds. Don't forget to re-tighten the cap on the brake fluid reservoir, and don't forget to put this cover back on there as well. So this step is really important. Before you reconnect the battery, make sure that you pump the brakes. So now the hydraulic pressure is going to be lower than the last time the car was running. The computer is going to recognize that drop and it may throw some codes. To prevent that, we're going to pump the brakes to restore the hydraulic pressure that was in the system. So let me go ahead and depress the brake pedal. And the first time you do it, you're going to notice that it's going to go all the way in. And that's due to the lack of pressure. All right, release it. Pump it again. This time is a little bit stiffer. Right, just do it a few times. All right, there is good. Now we can go ahead and reconnect the battery. There, my battery has been reconnected. Now I'm going to go back in and start the car. And don't worry if you see these warning lights. I'm going to show you guys how to clear those in a second. These are not trouble codes. This is different. Before doing that though, let me go ahead and take care of this first. Right here it says that we need to reset the parking brake. So basically we need to get the car out of service mode. So we need to depress the brake pedal and then we're going to set the parking brake. And that's it. It shows that it's complete. Now to reset these warning lights, all you're going to do is to turn the wheel all the way to the left until it's full lock, and then do the same thing all the way to the right, full lock, bring it back to the middle. Then we're going to shut off the car and we're going to start it again, and that's going to clear those warnings. And this is what the rotors are going to look like after you put them through the bedding process. I recommend that you watch some videos on that. Now, there's plenty of content related to that. Basically what you want to do is to transfer some of the padding material onto the rotor, and you're going to see that thin gray layer on them, and that's normal and desirable. Thank you all for watching. This is just one of the many modifications that I'll be doing to my Alfa Romeo Stelvio, as well as my Giulia over there. So stay tuned. I'll catch you guys in the next video.